All right, guys, we'll finish out the week here with a review. This is from the polling we did this morning. This is NEO to the dollar. I did a little quickie on Twitter here, but we'll dig in a little bit more here. There's a few, we've been through this a couple of times, but it's a relatively straightforward count. We get a very, very nice ABC brings us down. Here's our X wave, and now we're trying to finish with an ABC. Now it's a hell of a fall, right? From 200 to, what are we, $7 now? Amazing, really. So if we look here, this is A, I think we can, I'm on an 8-hour here, but we can get 5 out of that. Here's your 4 to your 5. So this, right, not surprising. Come here. I'm struggling to get there. All right, so here, right to the 50. All right, so here's your standard algo play, right? So they get paid, they get theirs, right from the 50 to the tick. So whoop, down we go. So if that's our B and we're trying to finish in C, well, there's a couple little things to look at here. So I'm going to go, let's go down to 1 hour here. This is a little tricky in here. You had this bit of a pump wick that created a bit of a challenge in here. So coming down from this low here, it looks like we can get 1, 2, 3, A, B, C into the 4. Looks like this is the 4 here, and then boy, it's almost like a double top here. So all right, so you probably go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish the 1 here. Now it looks like you'd come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that your 1 would be over here, but you can't. It doesn't work because you've got a clear impulse here. So if I label it, so come here, I have trouble getting. So 1, 2, 3, that's the 4. It looks like, so we come in down here for a 5. So I've got a clear impulse here. Well, I can't overlap the 1 in an impulse. So this little pump wick here eliminates this as my potential 1. So you got to go back a pivot and say, oh, well, could that still work? Well, yeah. You got a straight drive down here. You'd have to work this as an A, B, C. A little A, B, right? It's there. It's a little bit of a fit to the circumstance, but yeah, it still works. So A, B, C for the 2, then we come down, we get our impulse down here for the 3. Now that's a deep 4, no question about it. So if we look at the relationship, the length of the 3rd, we get through the golden zone. So you kind of got to look at that and say, dominant pivot. What are they using, right? So it's always a question. What did they use? This maybe, right? So from the LA account, it looks like that is more likely here. So it's up, this pivot holds, down we go, right? So they get it again, right? One way or another, right? They're gonna keep switching sides until they get it, right? So they got it there. So that's there's our 3, there's our 4 now. Looks like AB. So this, right? You want to go diagonal because that looks like ABC. So it's a little tricky on the way down here. So let's wick this off here. You can't make that work as a diagonal because you don't get the overlap. So you have to rethink that going, all right, I can get a 1, 2, 4. It's one of two things. So either you have a truncation here. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. This would have to be A, B, C. God darn it, I don't like to do this, but let's go down to 15 minutes, see if we can make that work. Well, shit, first I got to find it. Let's scrunch back here. Hang on here. All right, so this, where am I? Okay, it's the 1, right? This is what we're trying to get here. So if I go, I want to get, let me do this. I'll put a little line on this so I can find it, right? So let's do that. Now I'm going to go to the 15-minute. All right, so where am I finding that? Jesus, why am I having such a hard time finding that? It's not, is it over here? Shit, boy, no, it's not over here. I'll find it eventually. All right, so where are we? There's a 1. Even Trading View's struggling here. Let's try the 30-minute, see if I can get it a little bit better that way. Let's reset this. Okay, here it is. All right, so here, coming off of this, can we get that? So this is just a straight rip. Right, so now it does look like, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's the 1. Right, now we've scrunched it up a little bit. So the 5 here. So you're you're dying to go A, B, C, but you can't make that work because we don't overlap the 1. So you can certainly go A, B, C here. So this is good. So it's a bit of a, you know, what do? You got to get a 1, 2 out of that, 3, 4, and then we finish with a diagonal. So that part is clear. But this is a little bit of a, you know, you got to just work with what you got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives me the 1. A, B, C gives me the 2. Now this, so it's got to be 1, 2. So it's really, boy, is that close, right? It's very close to, but you got to work with it. So it's 1, 2, 3, looks like A, B, C into the 4. So you have a diagonal here. So it looks like you'd go from that 2. God, is there another way this can work? No, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So so you've got A, B, you've got a clear C. So you have to work it this way. You have to go 1, 2. Likely 3, 4, 5. So where would that put us? Is that the 1 of 3? Shit, let's go back to the 0, or to 60. So if that's the 1, 2, okay, I can get a 1, 2. I can get a diagonal here as a contender for the 1 of the 3. So let's so we do it this way. So this would be the 1 followed by the 2. And then let me just place those. I got to put them somewhere. So let's go up a degree. Okay, 1, 2. Well, it's not terrible. All right, so we work from that as the 1. All right, we're a little shy of the 50, but it's not bad. Right, pretty close. Right, so likely a front run. Now you gotta dig a little bit to get that into a 3. A, B, C is about all you can work with there. I'm just kind of looking here. Is there another way we can see that this looks too good as a diagonal? So 1, 2. All right, where are we? Well, that would suggest now maybe you can do it this way. So you can do 3. Looks like 4. Now this right here, right? Are we double bottoming? Likely. Ah, shit. Come here. All right, so there, that looks like trading view. Okay, so it looks like we can get that here. So we can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, where does that leave us? That gives us our 3, A, B, C. All right, so now we'd be pulling. So it's also to this degree here in white. So I got to go back to. So here's my 2 in white. Down to my 3 proposed double bottom here, A, B, C. All right, so we got a clear algo target here, but look where 0 is. You got to pay attention to 0 down here, so you're not projecting beyond that. So this is pretty straightforward. So if that's going to hold, we can anticipate. It looks like the 1's already gone in. So it looks like you've got from this 4, we've got our 1. Looks like maybe putting in the 2 before we go 3, 4, 5, get us down here. Too soon to call that done, right? So no, but we can't have a triangle in the second. So we got to look for either that's done here or there's one more kick up. So we'd come in here something like A, B, then we go for the C, then down for the 3, 4, 5. So that looks like that's in play. So of course, on the 60 here, we can zoom in a little bit more. I can get a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm all good there. Don't love the finish, but that has been very consistent with crypto for the last several months here. We can't get the subdivision breaks down eventually, right? But certainly I can get a nice clean 5, A, B, C into an A, B, C into a B. Looks like there's going to need to be one more push up here. So pulling just where we would anticipate a second, length of the 1. At least the 50. So that would be ideal that you get that. So then you'd have more confidence about where we are if we got that before heading down. So it looks like it's in play here. Certainly doesn't look like we're breaking down. There's probably a way to count that, but I would feel better about it here if we got this little lift up to put us right in the zone where we'd anticipate the 2. But then you start projecting, right, keeping mindful of where 0 is. So then you're going 1, 2. Well, if we're going to get a true 3, we'd be looking for it down here, right? That would be our negative 100. That's our shorthand for the 1618. So all of this stuff looks like it's got a finish down here. This would get us all the way done down here. Now we do have an algo target at $1.80. So pulling that back out, right, would that play? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it could. Right, you've got a contender here down here to finish this. So I certainly wouldn't be jump. All right, so it's tempting to think, oh, maybe we're done. Oh, so I could go 1, 2. Right, it just doesn't work, right? So it looks much more like 3, so which would imply we're not done yet. So one more time down is the most probable path here. We can probably throw some median lines here. I'll work from the 2 to the 3. I've got a modifier on this. Let's always start with original. So if we hold here, so a little kick up into that high probability zone for the 2. Now that we break the parallel. Let's get this dialed in here a little bit. So we break the parallel, but we could have a runner. So we could have not uncommon to get a sliding parallel here. So something like that would put us. You bring that in a little more, right? Where we'd want to see that too. We know it can go as high as the 786, something like that here. So up we'd go for the 2, come down. Are we going after median line? Depends how fast it's going to move. Right, 3, 4 to the upper parallel, 5. Right here's 0. We're running out of room. So we don't need to assume that we're necessarily going there for the 3. Again, this would be the 1, 6, 1, 8. That's our high probability zone. So 3, 4, 5 looks like Neo at $2. Hard not to like it, right? If it's gonna survive, which is a strong project, right? There's no reason to assume that it wouldn't, but right, at some point, price matters. So that's I don't know what else I can offer to you. It's pretty textbook stuff, right? There's nothing radical here that we're doing. Just following the wave count. I can't even get it. Let's try a 2-hour. So I'm just looking to see if there's another pivot that might be worth exploring here. If we come back up to the 2, now we get a little closer here. Even if we went up all the way, just out of curiosity, to the start of it, maybe. Right, you're going to have to play with each one of these to see how it lines up when we get down here. Right? There's always different ways to look at it here, but you might start there and then adjust accordingly based on how it's moving relative to the leading component. So, right, median lines are leading indicators here. So if we come down here and we get our 2 into our 3, right? We don't know where, but it would imply, right, something like that. 4, 5. So yeah, would I buy it there? Nope, I wouldn't. I would wait. Right, I've shown you guys 100 times, right? 1, 2, right? Then I know if I break that, I'm wrong. 3, 4, 5. Right, then of course, right? Don't feel like if you don't catch this, don't feel like you're missing anything, because you know what follows, right? You're going to give back likely half of it, if not more, before you go up for the big 3. Right, and that assumes we get a trend change. Right now, yeah, I don't see how we resolve that without at least coming down to test that low. Looks most probable, right? It's the likely path of least resistance. We'll see, right? Shit happens. Something crazy could happen. We had probably a way we could finish this here, but just at first glance, working through the subdivision, looks like we've got another push down to go. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I've got. We'll kind of wrap it there for the week, and see, Monday's a holiday, so we'll crypto never sleeps, so we'll be back on Monday. All right, guys, talk to you later.